Hello, this is Cosmo, and I am doing another tank review video. Last time I did the T84O, or not O, my bad, the T84U, or the T84-120, and I didn't do that well, honestly, on the voiceover. In fact, I actually wish I didn't post that video because I thought it was very cringy, and the way I spoke was just not the best. I kept messing up in my words, and I genuinely don't like it. Anyways, let's just put that aside, and let's just get right to the video. This time, we're going to be reviewing 3 tanks at the same time. The first tank that we're going to go over is the Almighty Mouse, or I don't remember its full designation. I'll put it up on screen right now. Anyways, let's get to the armor. The armor is pretty good for Tier 8. Yes, we are reviewing Tier 8 tanks and what we should buy for Tier 8. This tank isn't the best for a starter. Although it has good armor, for example, the 290 millimeters of armor, of kinetic armor, at the front, in the upper front plate of the hull, although it has that amount of armor, it isn't the best against heat, like missiles or the heat of the 155 millimeters that are in that tier, and or tier 7. Now, the only good thing about this is that if someone isn't using heat, something like the IS-7 or like the 130s, the 105s in that tier, the 120, they can't really penetrate your armor. So that's the only good thing in my opinion. Alright, just hold up a little. I'm being a little too harsh on this tank. Let's be honest, we're not here to nitpick the small details like being disabled and killed. Instead, we're here to rate the tank. So, here's a little editing thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to fix whatever I have here. The mouse is a solid tank, and I think that you should definitely get it if you want to have fun, and if you want a tanky thing, you know? Yes, you will still have to take into account that there are heat shells and there are missiles, but you really, if you're lucky enough to get a server that doesn't have any rat tanks that have missiles on them, then this shouldn't be a bad tank, so you should definitely get the mouse. It is a must-have in case you want to have fun. Anyways, back to the video. Opinion about it, but even then they can just disable you, flank you, and kill you, so not the best. Another thing on the bright side is that you are resistant to rat tanks, so things like the Weasel or the R3s that they end up tiering, or the 30 millimeters that they end up down tiering from tier 9 down to tier 8. I don't get why they would down tier those guns. Personally, I just use the 105s. Anyways, my verdict on this tank is that it's a 6.5. The reason being that it's not the best against heat, and honestly not beginner friendly, because even though your style could be heavy tanks or having a lot of armor, having a tank that is super slow and then ends up dying to heat or missiles is not something I look forward to when I play a tank. So, to be fair, all the tanks in this tier are going to suffer that. Just this one suffers it more because it gets disabled and then killed. And so you're just sitting there hoping that your teammates are the best. Anyways, that is my final verdict on the mouse. moving on to the T55 AM1. Not the, normal one that has no side skirts and no smoke grenades. This one is a much better tank. It is the T55 AM1, as I mentioned like 2 seconds ago. This tank I started off with, and it was actually one of the first tanks I got for tier 7 and 8, back when the tiers were together. Not the best anymore, because the tanks that there are just rat tanks and missiles, and personally I don't look forward to tanks anymore in that tier because of that, but we're focused on if it's good for beginners and if it could counter that, honestly, the armor isn't that bad. The lower front plate is about the same as the normal T64s or T72s. So it's just like your average tier 8, tier 9, and tier 10 Russian tank. And its reverse isn't any better. It's about the same as the T72 or T64. So you gotta be mindful about how you play this tank, or else you are going to absolutely get shredded by 128s and the heat shells that are being slung at you by rats. My verdict on the T55 AM1, I am a little bit biased on this tank. Russian biased, perhaps. Slight reference, My final verdict would be that it's maybe an 8, maybe a 7, because I started off on this tank, and it was a pretty good tank for the time that I used it. Your only issue would be being killed by those stupid rat tanks that get on your side. But other than that, I think you could really survive it. If you play this correctly, maybe you could machine gun the weasels or whatever they're playing now. You could probably shred them with your 50 cal or your 100 millimeter. The gun that it comes with is pretty good too. It doesn't come with the gun actually, but if you buy the gun that goes with it, the 100 millimeter Molotov, you could actually shred a few tanks, especially if you use the APDS. It acts like the APF SDS, so it's not as bad. Yeah, honestly, that's really it. All I have to say on the T55 AM. Once again, I'm back to correct a few mistakes. For starters, the T55, it has a good ammo, not too good of an ammo layout, a little bit better than most T-Series tanks. The armor frontally is okay, obviously in the upper front plate. The lower front plate, of course, as I said, it is not good. It's about the same as most T-Series tanks in any tier. And the turret traverse ain't the best either. It suffers a little bit more than most tanks. The bright side, you do get smoke grenades on the turret, and the penetration values on the Molotov are pretty good. So if you want to LARP this tank, then go for it. Obviously, I don't know what rating I gave this. I think it was a 7.5. I'm gonna raise that to 9.5 because this has a special place and where I used it. It's a pretty good tank, and I do recommend everyone to buy this tank at one point and use it because it is just a really good tank. And yeah. Don't pay attention to what I say in this video because I messed up gravely on everything, and so I'm just kind of here editing and fixing the mistakes that I made during the time of recording the voiceover. So yeah, I'm gonna be fixing a lot. Anyways, back to the video. The next tank that I'm going to review isn't the most beginner friendly, I would say. It's more of how do I word this? Sniper tank, more of a skilled tank, and that is going to be the Type 74. Now, before the update, I think Vanguard update, I don't remember what updates they have. Skyfall, I don't remember. Whatever update that recently came up, they remodeled the Type 74, and I replayed it. In fact, you actually would have probably seen that video that I uploaded on the Type 74. And it's a pretty good tank. The armor is mediocre at best. It gets killed by basically anything. But if you snipe with it, then you could do well. Because you get what is hydraulics on the wheels, on the tracks. And so you can position yourself in hold down positions. So places like the Sinai map, that map is a good one for the Type 74. Now, this is a good tank, especially if you down tier the XM something 295, I don't know. It's a 90 millimeter in tier 9. The only thing that you're going to have to deal with is that you're going to have to save up for the tier 9 gun, and then you can buy the Type 74. But overall, that tank is a pretty good tank. If you snipe with it, obviously, if that's your playstyle. My issues are going to be that it gets 50 cal to the side or 20 mil to the side. My bad. Terrible grammar, honestly. Anyways, my only issues are that if your side is facing the rat tanks or just anything in general, it'll absolutely shred you to death. But if you play this from long range, then you could actually possibly get something done with that tank. Personally speaking, it's kind of like a placebo. The new model kind of made the armor buffed, in my opinion. I don't actually know. But it's a pretty good tank. I don't actually recommend this for people who are new to tier 8 because you do have to buy a tier 9 gun. Alrighty. So we're going to fix a few mistakes here. I don't know what I was on about. You don't have to down tier any tier 9 gun to have fun with this. It's just recommended. Let's be honest, the side armor and front armor, they're not good. I'll show you both the values right now. It should be up there. Their values are not good, as you can see. And the ammo layout isn't the best either. Most of the ammo is at the back of your turret, which is okay, right? If the turret didn't have such little armor. So you can basically get penetrated by anything that shoots you on the turret. And I'll show you the values of the turret armor too here. Should be up now. That's not, that's, as you can see, it's not too bad of armor, but it's not good either. If you're in a hold down position, like I said earlier in the map Sinai, then you'll do okay. That's at best you'll do okay. As I said, the ammo layout isn't as good. The what's it called, the ready rack, I think it was, in the hole. If you even expose yourself a little, the very little armor that you have on your hole will spall anything that shoots you, and it will make it so that it hits your ammo and detonates and makes you die. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's something that beginners want, right? So don't use it. Don't buy it. The Type 74 is not good. Oh, my cat just walked in. It's not good. Don't buy the Type 74. It's a 5.5 out of 10 at best. Now, personally speaking, the Type 74, in my opinion, in my bias, it's a 9.5 out of 10. But that's because I use it and I down tier a 90 millimeter from tier 9 down to tier 8 to have fun with it. So yeah, that's my final verdict on the Type 74. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing, maybe, commenting down below and telling me what I should review next or play next, I'm gonna try to post more on this channel, because I don't post as much as you'd think. Yeah, please do subscribe if you enjoyed, or like the video. Have a good rest of the day or night, depending where you come from. Yeah. Goodbye.